Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Wolfman Walsh here, and it's 6 a.m., 6:30, 5:30. I don't know what time it is on a Thursday morning. And I figured I'd go ahead and shoot this since I'm up anyway, because my crack pipe of a puppy can't tell time. So here it is, part one, I guess, of 3 of our Knife of the Year awards. Criteria. Knives must have been made or produced and purchased within the past 13 months, kind of last December until now. Because typically things that we get given or purchased in December don't make this video, so we always allow for last December to be made. So any knife that was made and purchased this year. I have 3 categories, and we're going to break them down. And for once, I'm going to agree with Enzo's ranges, because I typically do 50 and then 50 to 100 and 100 or higher. This year I am going to raise those numbers, and we'll say it's due to inflation. So we have the budget tier of 0 to 75, we have the mid tier of 75 to 150, and then we have the 150 plus. So you can see these all spread out here. Let's break them down. All right, starting off with the budget tier. As the knife that I've purchased most recently. This is the Rough Rider Reserve number 25, the Sabacca D2 steel, red micarta, and the bomb shield. This thing has quickly become one of my favorite go-to knives. Now it is a very large knife, 4.5 inches on the blade, but I do carry it in the coin pocket of a certain pair of jeans, because they do have a larger coin pocket. So this is where that goes right now most of the time. This will run you normally about 60 bucks, 65, but it was on sale last week for 48. 44. I just did that video. I should know. It's 44. If it's still on sale, I recommend you go get this. You'll like that you did. It's an awesome knife. So there's that. Set that down here. And then coming in just under the $75 at $70 was the CRJB Resource. Now I got this one in the satin finish with the gray blue handles, and I went and dyed the handles a much darker blue, much more vibrant blue. Not that vibrant right now, because it's, pitch dark outside, pitch black outside. But no, this has been a surprisingly good knife. Not that I thought it was going to be bad, but I'm surprised at how much I've enjoyed carrying this knife. I don't think I own. No, I don't own any other CJRBs. This is my first one, I guess. And, well, no, I had the Malia, but I gave that away. I gave that back to a more deserving owner. And, but this thing's been awesome. It feels great. That stepped G10 feels really good. It's a very comfortable knife. And even though it is a large knife, it works. It's not a scary knife. It's not overbearing, and it has great action. So there you go. So there's my 2 for the budget tier. And this isn't really a hard one to choose from, because up until, 2 weeks ago, this was the only knife I had in the budget tier, so that was going to be a clear winner. But now I've added this, and it's been a lot of fun, and I really enjoy it, but it hasn't put in the work yet that this one has. This stuff. Okay. I am going to choose the CRJB Resource as the winner of my budget tier. All right, moving on into the mid tier, the 75 to 150 range. And I'm going to kind of put these in the order that they were purchased or received. we go. So, first one here is the CRKT Razel. And we have the Kizer October Moon Knight Edition. We have the Kizer Hyper. And the Case 2X Large Folding Hunter in Jigged Rosewood. Alright, the CRKT Razel. This was the first knife purchase of 2023. And it's actually probably the most beaten knife that I have. It's all scuffed and beat up. That is because it has seen the most outdoor use as far as landscaping or gardening or working out in the shop, working out on the farm. You know, if I know I have a weekend where I'm going to have outdoor tasks, this is in the pocket. Well, it's not in the pocket, it's on the belt. Did several videos on this knife, but I ended up finding this sheath at Cavender's. It's just an Ariat sheath, and it's the best one I found so far. It's not made for this knife, but it works, and it doesn't come out very easily. So that's what I went with. But this was $79, so I think after taxes and all that, it was $80-some. But I think you can get them now for $59. Like, so should it be in the budget section? Maybe, but I'm going based on what I paid for them when they came out. So it's going to be in the mid-tier because it was over $75. That is the CRKT Razel. The next one was the Kizer Hyper. Now, this was shown at Blade Show 2023 in Atlanta, and I just was like, I gotta get one when it comes out. There were a couple different versions. This is just put a big old fingerprint on that. This is the S35VN version with the aluminum handles. It's kind of a matte black and a matte red. And it is a button lock. Very fidgety. Very fidgety. Sorry, I was holding it like this. You all can't see that very well, can you? It's a button lock. That is harder to do this way. Very fidgety. Very nice. My only complaint, and it's not even really a necessary complaint, is it's smaller than I thought it was going to be. And Enzo was in agreement that when it arrived, he goes, that is smaller. But at the same time, it's so light. It's probably it is the lightest knife I have on the table because it's skeletonized, milled out aluminum handles. That this is great for any type of shorts, ball shorts, cargo shorts, any summertime activity where you're not carrying things that are big and bulky. This is a great knife for that. So, yeah. The smallness actually comes into play where that's a huge factor. So what I was initially disappointed with, I actually ended up really, really digging. I did kind of skip this one, didn't I? This one was in February. This is the Kizer October Moon Knight Edition. 154 cm on the blade, and the bone linen mummy micarta handles. I can't say enough about this knife without sounding like a complete and total nerd, because it's the Moon Knight Edition, one of my favorite comic book characters growing up. And then Disney puts out a series it's okay if you've read the comic books and you understood Mark Spector and Moon Knight, then the series was actually pretty good. But for people that had never seen Moon Knight, they had no idea what they were getting into. This was just for a sentimental purchase. This was not going to be like a everyday carry in the pocket. Now I did carry it for 10 days like I normally do, but I did not do any heavy work on it. The oils of my hands, a little bit of dirt did get on the micarta, and that's totally fine. It just gives it more of that worn-in, muddy look. So, yeah, let me put that down. So the last one here in the mid-tier was a gift. And yes, I am going to put this in the 2023 video because I tried to look this knife up to see when it was made. And me and a couple other YouTubers have done reviews on this particular knife this year. So, was this knife made this year? It's a great question, because if you look it up by the name, this is the Case 2X or double X or whatever you want to call it, large folding hunter in jigged rosewood. If you look that up on Google or eBay, there's a couple things that'll show up. There's this one, and they all roughly say somewhere June 2023. But then there's another one. And I think I took a screenshot of that you can see here. This one says Case 2X Folding Hunter. Mine says Case 2X Large Folding Hunter. Now that other one that doesn't say large was from 2010. And so if I take the word large out of my Google search, a lot more results pop up, and they're all in that 2009, 2010 range. If you add the word large, 2023 shows up. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and add this one into the video. You can fight me in the comments about it later. I'm pretty sure the large version of this is new for 2023. So I'm going to add it. So here we go. This is the Case 2X Large Folding Hunter Clip Point Blade Skinner Blade. This is a heavy knife. It's going to weight your pocket down, but it did come with this belt sheath, and that is the way I have carried it the few times that I've carried it this year. I have carried it with me the 2 times I've gone hunting so far this year, and unfortunately, I have not gotten anything. Nothing has come in to the field or to the stand for me to be able to harvest a deer yet. Overall, great knife. Enzo got this for me as a gift, and I've been very appreciative of this gift. This is my first kind of really big boy case folding knife, case traditional knife, and I actually really dig it. Okay, I'm going to tell you which ones I'm not going to pick, and then we'll get to the ones I am going to pick. I'm not going to pick this one. Now, I know that seems funny because I probably talked more about it than I did the other knives, but this is a sentimental purchase, just as a cool factor, not the X factor. It's just the cool factor, but I'm going to set it off to the side. So that gets us here. Usability. You know, I've probably used this one more in physical labor scenarios than anything else, but no, not going to be that one because it came with an awful sheath, so you lose points for that. So what I'm going to do is it's going to be between these two, and the winner is going to be the Kizer Hyper. Even though it was a little smaller than I initially intended, it's actually a really awesome knife. Now before we move on to the only knife in the premium tier, I'm going to do my honorable mentions of the year, purchase-wise. Set that right there. We'll just make a name for it. I bought this knife earlier this year, and we did a couple of videos on it, and the videos got no love whatsoever. This is the Kizer Hunter, and it has been in the pocket more than any other knife this year. Why did it not make the video? Because it wasn't made this year. It was made 2 years ago. But this has been the best knife purchase of the year. This G10 is sculpted and milled in a way that it looks and actually feels like leather. And you know how I like leather, so that's really cool. It is in my favorite steel of 154. It's got a great shape. It's got a nice belly for slicing. It's got a great weight to it, and just the overall feel in the hand. This is typically in the pocket every day as the primary knife, and then there's something else from this table that's in as a secondary. You know, it's like a wallet or a cell phone. I hardly leave the house without this knife. This has been my favorite knife this year. So the other knife I wanted to talk about that I bought this year is the TwoSun TS59. It's in D2 steel, titanium handle, milled titanium, very nice. Love everything about this knife, the way it feels, the way it works. But me and the internet all agree that this pocket clip is awful, because you have to physically pry this pocket clip off to get it into your pocket. Even Nice Knives did a video on, you know, I love this knife except for the pocket clip. I agree, buddy. I agree. But Nice did that review 3 years ago. I just purchased it this year from White Mountain. Anyway, so this came in at about $90, but I wasn't going to add it to the video because I can't get a real estimation of a date on when this came out versus when the original came out. And D2 may have been an option once before, and then they switched to M390, went back to D2. It's really murky on the internet trying to figure out information or a timeline on this particular knife. But I've actually really enjoyed carrying this knife this year. It's a great knife. I'd actually love to have a fixed blade version of this. Full tang, fixed blade, everything. Titanium. I even want this piece right here. I love it. So Mr. Wong, if you're listening, I would love a fixed blade version of this. But yeah, this has been kind of the most interesting and intriguing knife that I've bought this year. One, because of the reason it was purchased. If you didn't watch that video, go back and watch it. But it's just, it's a funky knife, and I really dig it. So, you know, shoulda, coulda, woulda. If we'd have done other videos, this would have won, you know, my budget. This would have won my mid-tier. But now we'll get on to the premium. This is the only knife in my premium, the 150 plus range. And it is the Kizer Huntsmen. This was in the October drop. And oh my word, what a knife. S35 being on the blade, titanium handles, carbon fiber onlays, big old fat rear end, a big old fat pocket clip. This thing is phenomenal. I mean, this wins X Factor on its own, let alone being the only one in the premium tier to win that. So it's a stunning knife. The action on it is stunning. The profile, the way it looks, just the ergonomics, having that bigger rear end. I know I keep talking about that. You wouldn't think that would feel comfortable, but I guess where your fingers get smaller toward this way, the rear end gets bigger, it fits really well. And I dig it. The winning parts of this knife are in the details with this, you know, where I said it was a frame lock. Well, it's not a frame lock, it's a bolster lock. The way that works, the way that looks, the way this carbon fiber works as a pinch plate, the way that this pocket clip just, it's huge, but it works. The milling on this back spacer, that kind of frag pattern, it goes right into the jimping here on the back. It's the same spacing, it's the same depth. I mean, it just works. Everything about this knife works, and works well. I love this knife. This was a big expense, a big purchase for me this year, and I'm so glad that I did. I'm so glad that I got on that drop and picked this up. So yeah, that is the winner of the X Factor, and that is the winner of the premium tier. So let me pull back out all of the winners of the 3 categories. There we go. I don't even know if that's in frame. Those are huge knives. Yeah, that'll work. So there you go. Budget, mid-tier, premium tier. Those are those 3 winners, and like I already said, this is my X Factor as well. So this is where the video will end for me. So now we're going to shift over to Enzo, and he's going to do his video where he's going to show you his winners of his 3 and his X Factor, whatever that is. I don't know what they are. And then he and I will get together hopefully here in a couple of days and do a video of our 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 winning knives, and go over them together in detail and pick an overall winner from each of our collections. So until then, I'm Wolfman Walsh. These are my winners. Take care. Love you. I just need like 5 more minutes. Go on. Yeah.